The Ultimate Universe was destroyed in Secret Wars, and that was about 10 years ago. But recently, a brand new Ultimate Universe was created by the Maker, an evil version of Reed Richards. He managed to prevent most of the superheroes from being created, but eventually his plans failed. He found himself imprisoned in a time-removed city with only 2 years to try and save everyone. Tony Stark and Reed Richards of this universe planned to free all of the heroes in their own ways. This is Ultimate Universe number 1. This is Comicstorian, where I take comic books, turn them into audio drama so you know what to add to your collection. And if you enjoy this content, consider going to Spotify or our sister channel, Comicstorian Full Story. Reed and Tony make their way through the dark prison until they arrive at the cell that they are looking for. Reed stops looking inside as Tony looks around nervously. The sun will be up soon, and we don't have much time. We just gotta get him out, Doom, Tony says, and Doom nods, peering through the slit in the door. Hello? Can you hear me? He calls out. From the shadows, a massive man leans into the light. Go away. I want no food nor drink. I desire neither company nor conversation. Thor growls. But Doom shakes his head. He explains that they have come to free him. Lie not. I have no patience for such things. Thor replies, but Doom opens the door and steps inside. I am here to free one man, but only if that man is the god of thunder and lightning. Thor nods, leaning back. I am he. Thor stands walking up to the pair, and he informs them that he can't leave until he retrieves something of his. I have great need. If my needs are met, then we will not need the vessel that you have come on, Thor says as he moves through the halls of Asgard. Tony watches as the god moves away from them. Do you think he knows that our ship is the bleeding-edge prototype that can navigate both real and imaginary space? Doom shrugs. I do not, but he does seem unusually certain. In a short amount of time, the trio arrive at the Asgardian throne. It's there that Lady Sif stands with several guards over the mighty Mjolnir. Odinson, out and about, she says as she turns to Thor, and Thor nods, informing her. I am leaving, but only after I claim what is mine. One of the guards steps forward, readying his weapon. If you want Mjolnir so bad, come and get it, traitor! Thor smiles as lightning begins to crack in his eyes. Has it been so long that Asgard has forgotten? I don't have to. He lifts his hand and the mighty hammer flies off the ground, knocking aside the guards as it snaps into Thor's hand, lightning filling the room as the mighty god is transformed. At the back of the room, Tony leans over to Doom. That is a very impressive weapon, perhaps more impressive than your very impressive ship. Doom notes and Tony nods. Here's what I want to know. If he could summon it at will, why didn't he do that when he was in the cell? Doom shrugs again. Given what we know, there's only one reason I can think of. He didn't want to. Doom says as they watch Thor launch into an assault on the guards, his hammer whirling through the air, striking them all down. This done, Thor returns to his new friends holding the hammer high. Stand close to me. This might feel odd. He says that the powerful energy streams down on them, carrying them all away. Once the trio have returned to Stark Tower in New York, Tony and Doom show Thor the frozen block of ice that is holding Captain America. Thor raises his hammer, preparing to free the super soldier. But Tony stops him, pointing out that they need to remove him carefully so that they don't kill him. Thor nods, raising his hammer and promising the soldier that he shall be freed. Strong words, Sif says in the back of the room, and the trio turn, shocked to find that she has followed them. She looks to Thor, reminding him that he is her prisoner. Regardless what these little men think, Tony steps forward, informing her that the world is wrong. That if it was not for the tinkering of the Maker, then Thor would have been her king. Doom steps forward, using his computers to show them that the Maker had intimate knowledge of the heroes of this world, and so he set out to remake it in his own image. A world where the mighty heroes would never rise up to fight against him. A world where he controlled every outcome. Tony looks to Thor. You were supposed to be the king of Asgard, Thor. Instead, he helped your brother Loki kill your father and steal your birthright. Tony explains and then looks to Sif as well. We want to set things right. Will you help us? Both Thor and Sif finally agree, asking what the next step of their plan is. So Doom brings up another hologram that shows the castle in the capital of Latveria, explaining that the Maker actually kept repositories that held the makings of various heroes in their world. It's located here. He points at the castle and Sif nods as she studies the image. I know nothing of earthly fortresses, but I know a well-built citadel when I see one. They will not simply let you walk in there and take whatever it is. But Tony smiles, pointing to Thor. If only we could get in there magically and in the blink of an eye. So within moments, the four heroes are moving through the darkness of the castle until they finally reach the chamber that they seek. While it is blocked by an energy shield, Thor is able to use the magic of Mjolnir to allow them to pass through the energy barrier. Inside, the heroes pause. No alarms, no guards, Tony says, looking at Doom as they move forward and are shocked when they see a line of repositories. This might not be as simple as we thought, Tony says, and Sif looks at them all. You say each of these contains the relics of a stolen life? She asks, but Doom shakes his head. No, each of these holds about 100, he explains, and Tony looks to Thor asking if he can transport all of the repositories from the chamber. The God of Thunder hefts his hammer, stepping forward, determination in his eyes. It's an evil thing, the stealing of dreams, the work of demons and devils and souls that are damned, to make a world where men are chained to the future that is not their own. Can I do it? I am a god, and not bound by the limits of man. Of course I can. He says, but that's when he gasps as a blade is pushed through his chest. Thor! Sif shouts out and the god is pushed to the ground as Captain Britain steps forward. Wielding his mighty blade, he knocks Sif aside, promising to kill the traitorous Tony Stark. But Tony blocks the sword, raising his arm, firing a repulsor blast that knocks Britain away. Can you help us get out of here? Tony asks as he turns to Thor, who is struggling to his feet. The god nods, spitting blood on the floor. Aye. Within moments, they have returned to Stark Tower, where Tony begins to work on healing Thor. You are my prisoner. You cannot die on my watch, Sif whispers, and Tony nods as the machines begin to work. I'll do everything that I can, Tony promises. Meanwhile, over in Latveria, Captain Britain contacts the rest of the shadowy governments that are secretly controlling the world, informing them of what Stark has done and demanding that they do something in return. It is the Hulk who believes that this would actually play to their advantage, that the Cabal has been questioning what to do about America, and now they have an option, that they can blame this attack on Tony Stark and use it to bring the rogue nation under their control. Out in orbit, the Cabal activates a powerful weapon, one that has Tony Stark's name stenciled on the side. In Stark Tower, Doom and Tony become aware that the orbital laser has been activated and is now targeting New York City. Something's wrong. Options are limited with the Asgardian Feld. Perhaps only one. Doom says and Tony nods. Yeah, I know. He says as he begins to activate a strange device on his armor that begins to glow and fill the room. Out in space, the orbital cannon fires, the blast ripping through New York City. And in Latveria, the Hulk smiles. This is an opportunity. We do what we do. We tell lies so large that it's inconceivable that they were fabricated or false. And we cover that up with just enough truth to sell it. We put his name on it. Stark. 1 week later, the city is still reeling from the attack, with the news calling for any information about the long listed names of those that are still missing and presumed dead. But the news asks one major question. Why would Tony Stark commit such a terrible terrorist act? But since he has been believed to have perished as well, the truth may never come to light. The story of the Ultimate Universe's rebirth is still ongoing, so for now, the story is to be continued.